why were the Padres the best fit for you right now?
Gosh, it feels awesome. The atmosphere in the air is, I mean, it's really cool. Guys are expecting to win. Um, I'm really happy I decided to come here. It's after being here just a couple of days, I made the right decision.
You've been a part of a lot of different clubhouses and organizations. Can you feel a difference here? Can you feel a certain swag? And you mentioned an expectation to win.
Yeah, without a doubt. Even Jace Jace's speech this morning was great. It just you can tell this club has been a winning team for a couple of years now, and they're really hitting their peak. Jay seems like he's a heck of a leader, and guys respect the heck out of him. So, like I said, I've only been here 2 days, but it's been really neat to be in the clubhouse with these guys.
Mark, what's been the key to your success the last few years? I know a big part of it obviously is health. You had the forearm issue that bothered you for a while, but have you also made some other adjustments along the way to put up the numbers that you have the last few years?
Yeah, I've I moved over on the rubber a little bit. My repertoire has been pretty much the same, but I think the ratio of pitches and the mix that I've had has changed a little bit over the past year or two. But just subtle things, not big mechanical changes or anything like that.
I saw in one article that you mentioned that you'd made a little adjustment also on the grip of your cut fastball, and some of the analytics graphing shows that you're throwing that pitch more. I don't always trust those things necessarily, but are you using that pitch more, and is that because of the change in the grip that you made on it?
I don't know if I'm using it more. It could be just analytics are getting better or different. But a lot of that has to do with the catcher and that relationship, and I can't really say that it's a whole lot different than years past.
Obviously, there was a point in your career you were a dominant closer for several years until the injury slowed things down. Do you see yourself as potentially returning back to that role, either full-time or part-time here with the Padres?
Yeah, of course.
That's something you've been striving to get back to the last couple of years, even with Atlanta and the end of San Francisco?
Yeah, I mean, I was there all of last year. We went to NLCS and we had a great year. So looking forward to doing that again this year.
Thanks, Mark. Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
We'll go to Andy Halloran, UT.
Hey, Mark, when you made the decision to come here, was it defined to you what role you might have, or is that still being worked out?
I think, I think that'll sort itself out. I don't know if there's been a definitive answer on that yet, but we have a really good bullpen, as you guys know, and I'm here to help that. So wherever that fits in.
And for most of your career in the majors, the Padres haven't been a winning organization. We haven't heard players talking about wanting to come here like they have this offseason. What was your perception of them throughout your early years in the majors? And when did you kind of start seeing, oh, okay, they're good, and that you might want to, be part of this?
Yeah, I think it's always good for the game to see teams kind of turn over. We've seen Tampa do that the last few years, and obviously the Padres the last couple of years. So I've always enjoyed seeing new teams be in the hunt late, and this team is probably the best example of young talent, homegrown talent that has just flourished and kind of made a name for themselves within the organization. So front office has done an excellent job, continue to do an excellent job, and I'm just grateful that I can join and be a part of it.
I don't know how much you may or may not know Tatis, but just you've been in the league for quite a while. When you see a guy get a contract like that or come to terms on a deal like that, what goes through your mind?
Holy smokes, that's a lot of money.
Are you looking forward to playing with him now on the same team?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, just playing across from him, his energy is awesome, and you can see how it energizes the team. And from everything I've heard, he's a great guy. He's got his head on his shoulders, and that's why the front office has stepped up and come to terms with him.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Sanders.
Hey, Mark, I was wondering if you could kind of characterize your market this offseason and at what point the Padres kind of jumped in and became a real option.
Jeez. It was wild. It was a little bit different than expected for sure. Different than I expected. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. The Padres came in, later for sure, but they came on. It didn't matter who came on when. It was more about the winning part of it, and they were, just playing against them and being on the other side. It was pretty easy decision once they were in the mix.
And can you kind of characterize the way you've maybe changed as a pitcher since your surgery?
Well, I was throwing without pain, which was helpful. I don't know if I changed a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know how I changed too much. Just a little bit more freedom, I guess.
The strikeouts were down last year. Hard contact also down. How do you explain that? And do you think there's still more strikeout in your game than you showed last year in what was a weird season anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that as a red flag. Obviously you'd like to punch out everybody, but in Atlanta, I think we had the best defense in all of baseball. So I knew how good we were behind me, and my motto was to be 3 pitches or less, weak contact, and don't be a hero. You got 8 guys behind you, so allow them to do what they're good at. Keep the infield on their toes. Speed the game up. All those things that are kind of old school, but also allow the team to do well. And sure, I'd like to strike out everybody, like I said, but that's not always realistic. Hitters are good too. So.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Jorge Camacho.
Hi, Mark. Congratulations for this job. Of course, as the team, the goal is the World Series, but what is your personal goal this year?
Be a big part of the World Series. Yeah.
Okay, and now we remember the last postseason, Braves against the Dodgers, or Dodgers become the champions. But now, as a Padres player, it's a very tempting play or win against the Dodgers this series. How you consider this next series, Padres against the Dodgers?
Yeah, I think both teams got even better, and both teams were already really good. So it's going to be a fun race. Obviously we're going to respect the Dodgers, and I'm sure they're going to respect us. It's going to be a great division. And I don't think we can necessarily worry about the Dodgers. We have to do what we can do, and in the end, it'll play out.
And last for me, did you have any perspective or opinion about the Padres bullpen before they hired you, or you have it right now?
I just know there's really good talent. A lot of guys that throw hard and locate the ball well and have had a lot of success. So other than that, I don't know a ton, and I being on the other side, I haven't invested a whole lot of time in what we have here, but I'm learning quickly and see the talent that we have.
Thank you, Mark. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to Bob Scanlon.
Hey, Mark, if you don't mind, just to reflect a little bit on your surgery, it seemed like when that happened, it was supposed to be a fairly quick recovery time for you, but then it ended up taking a lot longer. Was there any reason that happened? Was it just circumstance? And what sort of did finally get you over that hump to feeling pain-free?
It was a really rare case, you know. I think compartment syndrome is the best way to put it, but there's not too many people that have had it in the past, and it was really hard to diagnose because imaging wasn't showing up. You know, we went to every doctor in the country, it felt like, and nobody really had a definitive answer of what it was, so we just kind of kept delaying it, kind of hoping that it would pass. And finally, you know, Dr. Shin in LA felt like he had a really good beat on it. And to me, it felt like an experimental surgery, but he was right. When we got in there, the muscle was actually it wasn't dead, but it was dying. It was bluish gray, and we had to open up the fascia and let the muscle breathe. And, you know, the expected time was like 3 months for recovery, and it ended up taking, I think, 10. But simply because, you know, we didn't know how it would react. So,
Got it.
yeah.
So it was, like you said, just a really rare thing, and it just took longer than expected, but there was really no precedent for it sounds like. But fortunately, over time, it finally healed up for you.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that the muscle outgrew the fascia, and for whatever reason, you know, I don't know if there's an explanation for it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the detail. Appreciate it.
Time for a few more questions. We'll go to Tony Alvarez.
Hey, Mark, I just wanted to ask you, you kind of mentioned it earlier, overall, the analytics part of the game right now. Do you think maybe it plays a bigger role in guys like yourself coming up injury at some point of their career, and probably make managers think a little more on certain game situations? Or you think it's just that the analytics are part of the game overall in the game now?
Yeah, I think analytics are a great thing. Used correctly and having, you know, a little bit of common sense behind them. You know, I don't think analytics show heart and effort behind things, but I do think that they can really help us. I believe you're ignorant if you don't use them, but if you go too far, I think it's going to hurt you as well. You know, I felt like there's been times in games where we went all in on analytics, and it was very obvious that was the wrong move. And, you know, as we've seen throughout the last 5 or so years, that analytics can really help and improve things. So I think there's a balance that we have to have, front office has to have, and you know, finding that balance is key.
Is there a point, do you think maybe a player could probably help a manager, letting him know, okay, I know probably statistics say one thing, but I got this batter or on this situation, or how do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about execution at the end of the day. We can talk about spin rates and access points and, you know, everything, but you know, if you locate the ball and execute, you're probably going to have good success.
Thanks, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next we'll go to Tyler Kepner.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Good to see you still doing your thing. It's great. I wanted to ask you, you've played for big market teams, small market teams, you've got a lot of perspectives. What does it say to you when a team like San Diego is as aggressive as they've been? Like, you've seen all the moves last year, this year, obviously the Tatis move. I imagine you think that's something that's good for the game, but sort of from your perspective, how much do you like that, to see a team in a market like San Diego just go for it like this?
Oh, it's great, because there's so many teams that are doing the opposite. You know, it's sad when there's only 30 teams out there, and, you know, you get a sense that a lot of them don't want to win. So to see San Diego step up and be in a little bit of a smaller market and really go for it is fun and exciting. It's a shame to see big market teams kind of dump, you know.
Did you ever wonder when you were in Pittsburgh? I mean, you guys had something special going on there, but couldn't quite get over the top. Nothing against the Pirates, like, they did a nice job, but did you ever sort of wonder, like, man, if we could have just pushed forward more?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you know, those, when you have a team like we did those 3 years there, if there's ever going to be a small market team that has a chance, you know, you really feel like you got to push the envelope and go for it when you have that window of opportunity. And there's no guarantees, obviously. There's risk there, but as a competitor, you'd like to think that willing to take the chance when that window usually is hard to come by or, you know, small. So
Thanks, man.
yeah.
All right, we'll finish up with one last question from Annie.
Hey, Mark, just one more. What made free agency different than what you expected this year?
Well, you know, the timing of everything was later. The dollars were a lot less. And, you know, it just expectations were definitely different. I'm just fortunate. I found a really good team, a good place, you know, a team that wants to win and is showing that. So.
Did you get any sense it was like the COVID timing, or was it just, I don't know. Yeah. Did you have any sense of that it was just bad timing?
I mean, of course, you know, that's a great excuse and great, you know, billion-dollar organizations, and they got a 1 or 2 year cash flow problem. So I don't know how good of a excuse it is, but I understand. I'm a business owner too, and I understand that stuff. But you know, I'm just a competitor, I guess, and not to say that you have to push all your cards in, but you know, a team like San Diego that's doing it, and that's a big reason why I chose here, is because they do want to win.